Hello, today I am going to do a review of the new movie Suicide Squad. That's why I'm filming right here, because I have a Harley Quinn poster behind me, which you mostly won't be able to see, but it's the thought that counts. So there will be a little bit of spoilers, nothing too major, but if you haven't seen the movie, it's probably better not to watch this review until after you see the movie. What was most exciting about this movie for me was that Harley Quinn was in it, and because she's like my favorite DC character, as you can tell, I did my hair like hers. And she honestly did not disappoint. I loved Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. She was an absolute joy to watch, but you could also see, at least start to see, the depth of this character, because I mean she has a very rich backstory and a very rich story too. She's got a lot that could happen with her in the storyline, a lot of ways that they could go, and I think she'll be a very entertaining and interesting character for the DC universe to explore. So overall, I think the highlight of the movie for me was definitely seeing Harley Quinn for the first time in a DC movie, TV, first time in their cinematic universe. I haven't watched a lot of DC movies. I've never really been into Batman or Superman, and that's a lot of what they've done so far. But this pulled me in because of Harley Quinn, and from her, I do love the Joker too. I love their storyline. I love the beginning of their storyline. I love when they first meet, and I do love that love story at the beginning. Obviously, it's a very unhealthy relationship, and but it is a very interesting story to watch, and I like that. And the way they did it in the movie was very good, and it was very true to the comics from what I know. I liked they did her backstory as a psychiatrist, and her sort of slowly falling in love with the Joker, healing him, and then when she falls into the weird magical liquid that I can't remember the name of. Does it even have a name? Probably does, and I just don't know it, but that turned her into Harley Quinn. I love that they showed all that in the movie, because sometimes I was a little afraid that they would push a lot of her backstory aside and just use her as, the Joker's girlfriend, but they did build that character for her, which I really liked. And then as for the Joker, Jared Leto played the Joker in this version, and I thought he did brilliantly. I don't think I've ever watched a movie with the Joker in it, because I've never seen the Batman films, but I am familiar with the character of the Joker, and I do love him. He's one of my favorite villains, and I think Jared Leto just did an amazing job. He brought this sexy suaveness to the character that hasn't quite been done before, and just really enjoyed it. He was a very intriguing character to watch, and obviously he's absolutely insane, and he played that very, very well. One of my favorite parts of the Joker in this film was, I think it's one of the first times we see him in the movie, in that he is lying on the ground surrounded by all these knives and all this weird stuff, and I just think that scene alone is just it sort of summarizes the Joker, and that he's really crazy and little off his rocker, but he'd written the ha 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 all over the wall, and it was a scene where he was talking to his assistant or whatever, his sidekick, about getting Harley Quinn back, and I think just all of those elements sort of really do encapture who the Joker is, and I loved seeing the Joker. And he played a smaller part in this movie than I expected, but I definitely think he'll be playing a bigger part in later films, probably a Batman film. All the other characters, while all were individually very interesting, I think the problem, and really my only problem with the film, is that there was a lot of characters, none of which who had their backstory built in another film. I know if you're going into this movie with a lot of knowledge of the DC universe, it's not so difficult, and I know a lot about some of these characters, but not about all of them. There's a few I think they could have left out and maybe focused a bit more on the other ones. Deadshot, I think, was very important, and I loved his character. He's got a very interesting story, which they touched on a bit, and he's just one of my favorite DC characters in general, and I loved Will Smith playing him. I thought he did really well. And then Diablo was very interesting too, and obviously very important in the end, which, I don't know, yeah, he was important. I don't know if I think that he's dead. Maybe not, I don't know. Who knows with superhero movies, you know? And then there was Katana, who was kind of part of the Suicide Squad, but sort of on the military side of it. I think they could have left her out. While she was an interesting character, they like barely touched on her story, so you didn't really get to know much about her. And I think she wasn't necessarily necessary for this first installment of the Suicide Squad story. I think she was just sort of an add-on that didn't really need to be there this first time. That's not saying that I wouldn't have liked to see her at all. I like that character and I'd like to see her later, but I think she was too much in this film. The other character that I think wasn't exactly necessary this first time around was, I think they called him Boomerang because he threw the boomerang. Well, I really like that actor, and he did a great job, and he was, you know, some funny comic relief. He didn't really add much to the team quite yet either, and it was another thing that they tried to do a little bit of the backstory with, and you didn't get enough of him, so it was almost like you only got a glimpse of it, so maybe you should have just taken it out and saved it for later kind of thing. I think maybe we could have taken those two characters out and given more focus to other characters we had built more of a story for in this film. But not to say I didn't enjoy them, but it just got a little chaotic. I think if you've taken those two out, you could have given more focus to Harley Quinn and Deadshot. But I liked seeing how Argus, that's what it's called, right? Or is it Argus Prison? Is that what whatever. I'm sort of new to the DC universe, but I like how they interacted with the Suicide Squad and how that dynamic had to grow over the course of the movie. And then Head of Argus, pretty sure that's what it's called, if that's wrong, sorry. But what is her name? Anyway, the Head of Argus, whose name I can't remember right now, there you go, Viola Davis's character. Honestly, even though Suicide Squad is like a team of villains, I think she's the most villainous. She was the scariest, I think, and I know she's trying to do good, but she doesn't care who she hurts to get there. So I think she's the most evil character of all, to be honest, and she played it very well, but I don't know if I like that character very much. She was sort of the villain in the story to me. But as for the technical villain of the story, I don't really know how much I liked that story with the Enchantress. I love Cara Delevingne so much, and I think the way that she played that sort of dual character was amazing. With June Moon or June something, I can't remember. She was, you know, this archaeologist who was then possessed by the witch, the Enchantress. And from all the promos, I never really gathered that the Enchantress wasn't going to be a part of the team. I just always assumed that she was. She was very cool. I loved the Enchantress. I think the only thing I didn't understand, and maybe I will if I see the movie again, is that I don't really know what her goal was. She was so she used to be like a goddess that the humans worshipped, and she wanted that back. But I don't really know what she was doing with all the weird, you know, lightning stuff, and I know it was destroying, you know, stuff, destroying parts of the world all over, but I did like the complex character of the Enchantress. I think again they might have pushed the limit of too many characters with bringing her brother in too, but yeah. And I think my biggest problem with having the Enchantress as this villain is the tone didn't fit as well. And while it was a very entertaining villain to watch. Other than that, once you got past that, the tone was a little different. I did enjoy her story, and I thought it was a very entertaining one to watch, and I loved how the team did band together against her, and ended up saving Cara Delevingne's, the human version, June. One of my other favorite parts was the cameo of the Flash, because I'm very excited for the Flash movie. I love the TV show and I love the character, and I love Ezra Miller, who's playing the Flash in this new movie version in the next year or two, so I'm really excited for that, and I love seeing the little snippet of him. Yeah, I think that's everything I have to say. Overall, it was a very enjoyable movie, and I think it was a good first, and I think they can only get better from here. I think whether we do individual, like, you know, Harley Quinn movies and Deadshot movies or whatever it is that they do, I'm pretty sure Joker will be probably Harley Quinn too then in a Batman movie, upcoming one if there is. And I think I would like to see other individual movies dedicated to the people of the Suicide Squad, just because then you can sort of flesh out the character a lot better and learn a lot more about them and their backstory and who they are and why they are and all that. And then, yeah, that's all my thoughts. I'm excited for whatever DC does have coming out with the Suicide Squad next. I will definitely be there to see it, because if Harley Quinn's there, I'm there. But yeah, overall, I think I'm going to give this movie 8 out of 10 Harley Quinn baseball bats, because why not? I hope you enjoyed this video. I will talk to you guys next time. Like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I will see you later. Bye!